Man, it's basically boiling down to being the end, Skip. You know, and Michael basically said as such last week when Sean kind of went off on him on the sidelines.
He kind of went off, yep.
And look, it starts with money. All right, there's a lot of money that's due to him. $30+ million in guaranteed money, but then $85+ million if he was to get hurt in these final two games. One of the two games. Now, all of a sudden, that money becomes guaranteed if in the offseason he can't pass a physical. So now you're paying a guy $85 million that you probably don't want, okay? And so you look at that and you say to yourself, this happened to Derek Carr last year, where Carr was inactive for the last two games because this was a decision that the Raiders made as well. Yep. And this is kind of big money decisions that are being made with National Football League teams. It's something new. Me and Michael didn't necessarily have to go through this. No. Your salary cap number wasn't so high. They just cut you if they didn't want to deal with you. That's basically what it is. And this also reminds me a lot of Coach Parcells in the way he would handle certain situations.
Sean's chip off the old block.
Chip off the old block.
Yes, he is.
You know, you look at it and you go, well, Russell Wilson is a good football player, but he's not what he once was 4 or 5 years ago. Sean Payton had Drew Brees, but Drew Brees was not Drew Brees when Sean got him. He was a quarterback. He was a guy that they moved on from in San Diego.
They did.
And so
Sean, he had a really serious neck injury.
So Sean gets him, and he molds him, and he helps him become a future Hall of Famer. When you're looking at certain coaches in the National Football League, they're not looking at it the same way we're looking at it. I need a big-time quarterback because he thinks, whatever Russell's giving me right now, I can find that on the streets.
I don't know if you can find it on the streets. But
on the streets, meaning I can get another guy, Skip, to do the same things for a lot less money. I'd rather go take a Jarrett Stidham, who I'm excited to see play. He is. Dink and dunk, give me 160 yards and a touchdown, and not have to worry about $85 million. And that's what he's looking at. He's looking at it that way. If you think about it, Sean in New Orleans won games at times when Drew Brees was not underneath the center. It wasn't a 16-game season.
Well, Teddy Bridgewater had a nice run.
Teddy Bridgewater won games.
He beat us one game in
Teddy
New Orleans.
Bridgewater won games.
Taysom
Hill won games. Even just Jameis Winston had won games before he got hurt. So I understand what he's looking at and how he's doing things. It's not his quarterback. He inherited his quarterback. I think this is the beginning to the end of Russell Wilson.
So you think he'll be gone next year?
I think he'll be gone next year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's out of here. Because it's hard, Skip. Michael, as you know this too, Skip. It's hard to win your teammates back after they just watch you get benched.
Right. And yelled at like that on the
Yelled at.
Yeah, it's hard.
Thank you.
That kind of engagement, encounter between head coach and quarterback. We talked about this. It's just that's I told you then that's it's hard for those guys to work together, and I knew it then. But now, and let me defend Sean in this sense because I understand when I look at it, and I've looked at how he's always been, how he's won games in the National Football League. Russ doesn't fit the mold of his quarterback. His quarterbacks have won games with receivers running right over the middle of the field and him getting that ball out. The Costans have the most reception. Marcus Costa has the most reception, most receiving yards, 9,000 yards, 9,759 yards. That's over the middle of the field. Then Michael Thomas.
I'd say. Yep.
That's over the middle of the field. Then Jimmy Graham. That's over the middle of the field. And Russ is not that. We were talking about this the other day. Russ is not that pre-snap, Drew Brees, pre-snap. I got it. It's a quick hit. Let's take that. Let's march down the field, taking all of those quick hits and quick slants and quick hitches. Russ can't do that. I don't know. He can't see. He can't do it. And when it's there, he doesn't hit it. Now he starts turning around and whirling around, making plays. I would imagine that's what what's going on that sideline.
it drives
That's
you
there.
crazy.
It's there. It's
drives
right
crazy.
there. Take the play. Just throw the ball. Throw the ball. You heard quarterback say it. So I understand it's not his quarterback. Yeah, you know, and you got to move on. But there's no way that Russ will be there next year with this kind of attitude towards Russ. And Russ can't come in that locker room. Remember how he started? He started with his own office in Denver. He started, so to be on that mountain that high, and you didn't just fall to the ground. They grabbed a shovel and dug you in the ground. You cannot come back to that.
Office, though.
Right.
I've never seen that a day in my life. I've seen quarterbacks and even other players have 2 and 3 lockers, but not your own office.
Right. That was part of his contractual demands.
Right, correct.
His own parking place, his own office.
And I know that certainly irked Sean.
Right.
Without Sean even telling me, I know it did.
He made mention of it, that he didn't like it. Look, I'm going to say this again. I like Sean hugely. I have great respect for him as a play caller and a head football coach because he's done it at the highest level and been successful. Why didn't you challenge? And Sean didn't like that attitude because I think Russ is not his sort of cup of Gatorade. I just don't think he likes his nature or his realness or whatever that missing leadership trait is that Sean doesn't like. And he showed you what he thought of him because he would have never done that to Drew Brees. I mean, never close. I'm not sure he'd done that to a lot of quarterbacks he's coached. I don't think he would have done it to Teddy Bridgewater. But he did it to Russ because he's showing you, he can't help himself, he's showing you what he doesn't think of Russell Wilson. But now we get back to the financial part of this. It's mind-boggling to me, the mistake that got made, because remember, the contract extension that he got when he was acquired, it doesn't even start until next year. It's 5 more years at $243 million. So I'm not sure about the numbers you were saying. What I read, and I could be wrong, but I think it's $85 million of dead money.
Yeah, $85 million of dead money.
Okay, that's what that's gonna count against your cap going forward. It's crippling, man. It's going to cost you a bunch of football players.
It becomes dead money. June 1st, Skip, they could designate him, get rid of him June 1st. In 35 of that million in 2024, 49 of that million in 25, but they still owe him $39 million in 24. They still got to give him real cash.
Right now. And he has a no trade clause. So he's not going to have to, if he's not willing to, work with you on anything. Well, we got a good trade set up here. So what? Why would I try to help you out after you treated me like this? I don't want to play for that team. You see what I mean?
Yes, I
so
agree.
ultimately, you're going, why should I help you guys get assets? Just cut me. And then, and then he'll get to choose because he got $39 million. He can go somewhere else and say, give me $1 million. I'm already full for this year. And play somewhere else for $1 million. But it's going to happen. There's no way you put that back in your locker room and say, go lead my team or even go compete for the starting job.
It's going to be extremely hard for Russell Wilson to be respected inside of the locker room.
That locker room.
I would think I would think a majority of the locker rooms too, though.
And let me say one more thing, guys. Us seeing that on the sideline, I want to say this, that was not a what just happened moment. That was
building.
This been building up.
No, that was building, of course.
Okay, this you know what I mean? This I've been wanting to do this for a minute. I'm getting them out of here. We know it. I'm frustrated and I can't take it. So that's all I'm saying.
So how good has Russell Wilson been this year?
And now let's talk about those numbers.
Okay,
because
he's 21st in QBR, which is not very good, but he's 26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, which is not bad.
Patrick Mahomes, a lot of people have 26 touchdowns.
Right in that ballpark.
This is what y'all were arguing about with Sherm yesterday. That was funny. That was funny, Skip. I was sitting home. That talk was funny. I almost text y'all.
It was tense, but it was funny.
I just know that the numbers are down this year across the NFL offenses. That's all.
This Sherm thing, Sherm. So take deep breaths,
Calm down.
Just take some deep breaths.
All right, so Denver went to Buffalo. Remember, was it on a Thursday night? It seemed like it was on a Thursday night. And Russ was pretty good. He threw for 193 and 2 touchdowns and no picks, and they pulled off a big upset.
Right.
Okay, and he had a good game against Myles Garrett, who's not been very good lately, but he had a good one. Yeah, he had some nice games. Is he ever going to be Seattle Russ? No, I don't see it. I think he's lost some, but can he be a successful starting quarterback in this league? Yeah, and there will be teams that will seek his service.
But not Sean Payton now.
The problem, Skip, with that, though, is in the league, what happens is once Pete Carroll gives up on you, pushes you to the side, now another coach is essentially giving up on you. You now cloud other coaches and general managers' minds. Okay, no matter what we see, they start to look at it as if, is this guy, is he really worth that?
But that's why I gave you the money, because it's not even so now Russ will have a say in this. And, you know, so Russ will be saying, I got my money. All right, so I don't need now. I need to make sure I can show somebody and everybody that I can play. He'll get a chance now to try to pick that next opportunity.
Yep.
He can pick that next opportunity.
Well, he picked Denver.
And try. Yeah, but but Denver wasn't ready. You know, that wasn't
Denver.
Yeah, but he was the first time head coach and all of that. There was a lot in that. And then you bring in Sean Payton, and it really isn't. It's just it's a style matchup issue here, and he's too short to play the kind of way. Even though I know you're gonna say Drew Brees played, but Drew Brees he plays in anticipatory throws too. All of those throws, he knows where you're going to go. He throw it before you.
I've stood next to Drew Brees. He's taller than you think he is.
Right.
No, he is. He's
a little over 6 feet tall. He's tall enough.
He might be 6.
No,
he
he's
might
a
be
good 6.
But
I know.
No, I said he might be 6, but he's a tippy-toe thrower. And like Michael was saying, though, the whirly bird stuff, not anticipating and understanding what they like. And when I say they, I'm talking about the certain tree that I belong to.
You do.
They like precision.
Right.
They like to be able to carve a dude up, methodically moving down the field. They don't like shot plays all the time. They just want to, they take the 5, 6, 7 yards.
Over the middle.
That's a run play to them. And when you start doing things outside of that, it looks cute to throw to Sutton in the back of the end zone, touchdown.
When it works.
Let me tell you something. We ran a play one time, Skip, and I ran a different route.
Where was this?
This was when we was with the New York Jets. And they screamed, I scored a touchdown. They screaming and hollering. Blah, blah, blah. I go back to the sideline. I say, whatever that was that I just did, y'all should put that in. Y'all should put that in. Because the other stuff y'all was doing, that didn't get me number 5 yards. This was a touchdown. Just put that in next time.
Did you make it up or did you?
Yeah, I made it up because it was a route where I was being covered and we kept trying to run it, but they kept vicing me, covering it. And I just stuttered. Them dudes, and I went up top.
Did Vinny throw it?
Vinny threw it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was he on your page, on your way?
No, he was on the same page because he could read my body language, but the coaches...
And he had seen it before. You know, because when you see guys clamp down, you say, hey, man, they're clamping. They know it. They're anticipating me coming in. So let me stutter, and we get up the field.
I got screamed and dog cursed all the way. I'm like, man, we just scored. We up 21-7, and y'all worried about that? Just put that in. Won't y'all put the double move in?
All right, I got it. I'm going to say one last thing about Russell's value on the open market, especially if he's minimum wage because he's made his money. Look what Joe Flacco is doing in Cleveland right now. There's always some opening where they'll say, well, this guy did win a Super Bowl. He did play in 2, and he's not that old, so let's take a shot. I think somebody will give him a shot.
Oh, yeah. Somebody will give him a shot.
Yeah, but Flacco was hanging around. He didn't start the season with Cleveland.
No.
So there's a big difference. Russell Wilson is capable of starting the season for somebody. But because, again, those two coaches, essentially, Pete Carroll got rid of him. Now you're thinking Sean's probably going to get rid of him. It clouds the minds of other coaches and general managers about what he really is.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.